I never thought I'd come this far. I didn't think I'd ever make it to being a professional artist. I thought this would be a good time as any to really reflect on my journey. Back in 2019, I had a very pivotal conversation with one of my friends, and you might know her. Her online handle is Chinny, and she is unfortunately no longer with us. She had been struggling with her health for many, many years, and that year I just so happened to be in Vancouver, and I had met up with her for lunch. And she told me, "Xiao, life is too short to be doing something that you don't love." And indeed it is. So in 2020, I made a commitment to myself to put everything that I had into a passion, and that is creating and making art and telling stories. I enrolled in a lot of online classes. I wanted to strengthen my fundamentals. I wanted to take courses with mentors that really inspired me to understand their workflow and their mindset when it comes to actually making art. And through it all, I made a whole bunch of new connections and learned a lot of new technical skills. And I really put everything I had into my art and my whole art learning process, because it was the pandemic. We had time, there was nothing else to do, and so I was painting almost every waking minute of the day. I think part of that was also not feeling like I was good enough. I think that feeling haunts most artists, if not all of us at some point. And I think to a certain degree, it's definitely imposter syndrome. But I think on the other hand, for me at least, it was because I had a lot of stories in my head. And I wasn't at a point where I could effectively translate what was in my head onto canvas. And what I learned from that is I really just want an effective method to tell my stories. I do art because I love creating things, and I really want to tell stories. So for me, art is a medium for me to do that. It's a catalyst for me to do that. And so by the time I finished all of my courses that were relevant for being a 2D concept art and illustrator, which included a little bit of 3D, I decided that I really wanted to learn how to make games. And that was the entire game production pipeline, for art at least, excluding all the audio stuff and all the programming stuff, because I just didn't have the capacity to learn all of it. And so I transitioned from learning all of my 2D stuff to learning everything to do with 3D, including things like production modeling and topology and rigging and using Python and Maya to get the bones and armature to lie properly, and weight painting and level design and lighting and levels and just everything in between. I learned the entire pipeline for an artist in game production, in the hopes of making my own game at some point, and while at the same time practicing my illustration and design skills on the side with whatever free time I had. At this point, I had picked up a couple of consistent smaller clients, and it was good enough to build up a bit of a portfolio. I had also started talking to some of my friends who were interested in helping me make a game, whatever game that was. And I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. And so we started making the game. I was still practicing art and doing some light commission work. Fast forward to now, and said game idea, which was in its infancy, and at the time we didn't even have a programmer, is now almost a completed demo that we are going to try and pitch in January. I have legally incorporated my studio in Canada, and my team is about 20 some odd people large. I did not think for 1 second back all those years ago this would be happening. Now, am I guaranteed to get funding? No. But the fact that I even got this far is surprising, and I am infinitely grateful to my entire team and just how lucky and blessed I've been. On the art side, I've been picked up by some absolutely massive companies and now working on some of their very iconic IPs, which I can't talk about. But know that my jaw dropped when I got scouted for this job. I am immensely grateful for all the things that have happened to me. And I'm also very grateful for everybody who has even bothered to follow me on any of my social media platforms, including Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever. Anywhere you find me and followed me, thank you. Really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I tend not to follow trends simply because most of the things I like are kind of niche and a little bit out there. Heck, I spend all of my time drawing and like listening to documentaries. I don't know very many people who do that. Most people listen to music. So if you're following me, that probably means that you like some of my original ideas and you like my slightly creepy or almost always creepy art. And I thank you because I know I'm not mainstream. I know I don't chase trends, and the fact that I have a following at all is kind of a miracle in this day and age, and I want to just thank you for everything. And now, having reflected on the past 5-6 years of my journey, I did a lot of thinking about what I'm going to be doing going forward as well. In terms of the game, we are obviously going to pitch to publishers to try and get funding, and in which case we will be bringing the game into full production to be released in a few years. In terms of my art, I feel like I can finally say that I can translate whatever it is in my head onto canvas without much of a problem anymore. And so I think I'm finally at a point where I can use my art to tell the stories in a way where I'm satisfied with how it's coming out visually. As some of you might know, I have a webtoon called Chroniclers, which I started way back pre-pandemic. And I actually started that, first of all, to practice my art because it wasn't very good at that time, and also because I wanted to tell stories. But over the years, I've realized that I don't really enjoy making the comic format. And so I've decided to turn it into a visual novel. And that I'll be working on in my spare time, quote, quote, whenever that is. I will be working on it. In fact, this is footage of me working on something right now. If you've read the webtoon, you might recognize this little girl. And so going forward, most of the art that I will be making will be related to this visual novel. I will be documenting the whole journey, and I guess that means that I will have more video content as well. So if you're interested in following along on my journey and listening to me rant about random things, please do feel free to follow and subscribe and all that, whatever. Yeah, that's the plan, and hopefully you'll stick around for this next stage of my creative journey. Thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.